Hold on to your seats. The fun and excitement of duckpin bowling is rolling your way. It's time for Duckpin Magic.
Duckpin Magic is brought to you by Cat's Insurance and Blue Ridge Fuel Oil.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Duckpin Magic. I'm Mike Sella with Joe Ryan here. It's the DPBA, the Men's Pro Tour, and we've got the Masters event coming up, the biggest and the richest on the Pro Tour event.
Well, we're back here at Fairlanes, Middlesex, Mike, and first prize this year is $5,000. In this particular tour event, Jeff Piles was crowned our Bowler of the Year, so he's in our ladder. We'll see him in a couple weeks.
All right, 13 of the top professional bowlers will come at you in the coming weeks as well as today, and we'll get our first match going underway in just a moment.
Make your own duckpin magic happen this season at Fairlanes. We have the times, the leagues, and the people to give you the best duckpin bowling experience possible. Fall-winter leagues are now forming at all Fairlanes bowling centers. Come in and reserve your spot for the most magical year ever. Get in on the fun, the excitement, and the action of duckpin bowling. There's no trick to it. Just visit any Fairlanes center and pick the league that's best for you. You'll enjoy the experience. We guarantee it.
Duckpin Magic is being brought to you by Cat's Insurance and Blue Ridge Fuel Oil.
See our two bowlers, Wink Bartley on the left, Nappy Razo on the right, and Wink Bartley, 37 years old, will get us started here on Duckpin Magic.
Through the middle, Mike. 2, 3, 4, and 10.
Wink qualified with a 15.37, and we should mention, Joe, a lot of scores very high this weekend during the course of qualifying and the head-to-head competition earlier in the day today.
Yeah, I think we have an opportunity, Mike, and I know we've said this before, but the stage is set, and I do believe over the next 3 weeks, there's 4 weeks, there's quite an opportunity for a 200 game. Maybe a couple of them.
Nappy Razo, 37 years old, at a 15.49 score to qualify, was 3-2 record-wise in his 5 games of head-to-head, and had 755 in those 5 games.
We had mentioned in the opening that we had crowned our Bowler of the Year in Jeff Piles, and we're at this moment having that checked out. We may have prematurely announced that. John Schramm, who also is in our 13-man ladder, has a possible chance. We're checking. We're not sure.
Well, Nappy gets his first mark.
Neither of the bowlers, Nappy or Wink, he has Rick on the back of his shirt, and his name's Richard Bartley, but we've known him for years as Wink, and I don't know if I could ever call him anything else. I think he's been second 6 or 7 times. Of course, starting where he's at, he has quite a climb. The second wouldn't be bad from the position he's in right now.
I believe back in the late 70s, I don't know exactly what year it was, Joe, but Wink was actually Bowler of the Year because of the number of points he was able to garner from being high qualifier or generally just finishing high up in the ladder during the course of championship events, but won it without having to win a tournament.
I think only one other bowler's ever done that, and that was Jimmy Dietz. A couple times. He did it a number of times without winning an event, but nobody snaps the ball any harder than Wink does. If you watch when he lets that thing go, and there's the results of a good snap.
Quick 10.
He's really he's under the ball as well as anyone on the tour, and he really comes through it. He's had hand and wrist problems, and I think it comes from how hard he really hits that ball as he's letting it go.
see that neither of these guys let the pin stay up too long.
Well, the pins come down, they're ready to go, and the excitement's there. They've bowled all weekend in the Masters, and it does mean a lot to us to qualify for this particular tournament.
Right on the money. Nappy Razo follows up his strike in the second with a spare in the third.
Bowlers are getting a little more accustomed. We've come here to Fairlanes, Middlesex for our last 3 or 4 Masters, and the bowlers really look forward to the scoring and just the nice conditions and the hospitality that's given to us when we show up here at Fairlanes, Middlesex.
Bill Schwartz, last year's Masters winner, did not make past the qualifying round. We still have one of the 1987 Masters winners, and I say one of because of the special TV format the DPBA had that year. There was 3 Masters winners crowned. That is John Gorman, fellow who you'll be seeing in the weeks to come, who staged probably one of the more improbable comebacks.
There's probably more copies of that tape around than any tape we've ever made, Mike. 59 through 4. Wink with 30 plus a strike in the third. Just watch the lift, Mike, as Wink gets to the line and snaps this ball. And a quick 8.
Well, if either Jeff Piles or John Schramm doesn't win this event, and either one are crowned as Bowler of the Year, Joe, we'll have the second time that a Bowler of the Year has not won an event, being 1989. So Wink Bartley pick up the 7th pin with a 49 after 4, trailing by 10 pins.
I think Wink would rather shoot any other 2-pinner than the 4-7 because it's right where his ball snaps back, and then, as he did that time.
Wink will shoot for the 7 here. Got that dead on. Second mark of the match, and Nappy Razo steps in. Neither of our 2 bowlers here in the first match have won a Pro Tour victory.
Made it look more difficult, but actually the 2 fallen made this an easier shot. As you go for it, though, you may not hit anything. As you shooting to the right of the 3, he hit the 3 solid with the 4-7 remaining.
Nappy Razo averages 151 during the course of his league competition. 226 high single, 560 high 3-game set. Moves over to lane 5 here at Fairlanes, Middlesex.
Quick 9, number 4.
Missed that one. To come back with the 3rd ball here.
We haven't left a pin on the lane so far, Mike. Let a couple marks get away.
79 through 6 for Nappy Razo. Here's Wink Bartley.
Been in that right-hand pocket steady. Left the 4-7 again, and 2 frames ago on this lane 6, he picked this, knocked the 4 off the 7.
Has pulled to within 2 pins after 5 frames. That time he's got it. Back-to-back marks in the 5th and 6th frames for Wink Bartley. gives him a 77 plus the first ball, so he will, in all likelihood, take the lead in the match.
He's thrown a lot of balls in the same place, Mike. He's in a nice little groove.
Although neither of these two bowlers appear to put anything on the ball, Joe. There's a lot of, as Wink picks up his third straight mark, a lot of the bowlers here have gone to using all kinds of various substances to keep the oil of the lanes off the ball and give them a better grip.
Yeah, I saw something I haven't seen before. It was like a boot polish, a clear boot. I don't know if you call it a weatherproofing or like a shoe polish type weatherproofing that they've been putting on the balls. And it makes sense. It would, I guess, repel the oil that we get on the balls from what's on the decks.
Like I said, neither of these two bowlers are using it, but when somebody does come up that uses one during the course of the up-the-ladder competition, we've certainly pointed out to you. And they put it right in that towel and then wipe the ball down with it. It's another 10 for Razo.
I don't like to wipe my excuse off, you know what I mean? Happy guy, get it going here. He's going to be 7 back in a count. And there you see a strike.
Listen to you there as picks up his second strike of the match. Breaks a string of 4 frames in which he left open, although did 10 out.
Wink's thrown 5 straight balls in the 1-3 pocket. Let's see what happens. Through the middle. 2, 3, 4, 10. Work his wood. Really, you know, Wink has not had the good fortune of, I was going to say, of using the rubber. Everything he's knocked off has been sort of exploded off the lane, and he hasn't really had the pin action that you need to catch the strikes. Otherwise, I think he'd have quite a bit more score.
When he 10s out, he's got 112.
13-pin lead, but Nappy has a strike in the 8th.
Into the 9th frame we go as the match shapes up like that after 8.
Watch Wink's start. You really can't see his feet on this particular shot. He's got a couple little starter steps.
Well,
there it is again, the 4-7. Tell you, Mike, you look at the scores as Wink makes a spare in frame 9. Nappy shot 15.49 for qualifying. Wink 15.37. Today, both bowlers went 3 and 2, and there's 7.55 to 7.53. So they've been close all weekend.
Tough break there for Nappy Razo, although he's on the strike in the 8th, so he'll continue to add to the count.
Sort of in a do-or-die situation. He has to go for this. It's the 2, 6, and 7, and I think with Wink having the mark in the 9th, Nappy's got to give this a shot. He did. He gave it a shot.
Well, just 1 ball late. He picked it up. He was in the general area on the spare attempt and picked it up with the 3rd ball.
That puts him. He's 6 down. And Wink is on a mark in the 9th, 122 plus to 116. So Nappy definitely could use a double here. A mark would help keep him in the game. 2, 4, 5, 7. Must have it. Well, Wink 122 plus. Nappy gets 2 of these, it'd be 125. So if he stays behind the line, knocks down a few pins. Wink will be going on to bowl our 11th seed.
Happy Razo finishes off with a 124.
Jim Riceberg. That's enough.
Yep, and that time he jumped into on the 1-2 side of the head pin.
Well, he probably stayed back a little bit from the foul line and just sort of, I call it floating the ball down the lane. You just don't want to do anything foolish. Don't want to bounce it off your ankle or anything.
Well, he's got enough to win this match, and he'll move on, as Joe mentioned, to take on our 11th seeded bowler. And that is it. Wink Bartley defeats Nappy Razo 138-124, and we'll get to our second match on Duckpin Magic right after this.
Got the winter blues? Tired of sitting around the house watching reruns on the tube? Get in on the action and go duckpin bowling. Grab your family and grab your friends and find out how much fun and excitement you could have duckpin bowling. Be a part of the action and head for your local duckpin bowling establishment. There are plenty of lanes available, and you won't know how much fun you're missing until you give it a try. Duckpin bowling, the cure for the winter blues. Make your own duckpin magic happen this season at Fairlanes. We have the times, the leagues, and the people to give you the best duckpin bowling experience possible. Fall-winter leagues are now forming at all Fairlanes bowling centers. Come in and reserve your spot for the most magical year ever. Get in on the fun, the excitement, and the action of duckpin bowling. There's no trick to it. Just visit any Fairlane center and pick the league that's best for you. You'll enjoy the experience. We guarantee it. Let Blue Ridge Fuel Oil warm your smile with quality heating oil reasonably priced. Blue Ridge, on the road from sunup to sundown to meet the challenges of your important fuel oil needs. Blue Ridge with year-round discounts on quality heating oil plus day or evening delivery.
I'm Linda Cooper, president of Blue Ridge Fuel Corporation. Give us a call today and let your family friend put all of your heating worries to rest.
Call Blue Ridge Fuel Oil at 566-8200 today.
It happens. No matter how careful you are, you get one too many tickets. You're involved in a minor mishap. Or you're just a victim of circumstances. And just when you thought things couldn't get worse, your insurance company cancels you. And you're left high and dry.
That's when you call CATS. We'll give you same-day coverage and a payment plan you can handle. Call CATS.
Go from cancer to covered with CATS.
Duckpin Magic is being brought to you by Cats Insurance and Blue Ridge Fuel Oil.
Jim Riceberg and Wink Bartley facing it off in our second match. Jim Riceberg comes in as the 11th seeded bowler. Jim just did sneak in through qualifying, Joe, at 15-11.
My buddy got my spot. He bowls out of Mount Airy, Mike, and we're very good friends, so I gotta watch what I say here. It'll sound like I'm a little...
Well, it starts off quickly with a spare. He did come through with a 3-2 record in the head-to-head with 832 pinfall. You've been giving him some tips, or?
I've been trying to take some.
Wink Bartley.
He's been bowling well for a few years now. Nice shot. 2, 4, 6. Has a 6 left.
Wink's high single, 243. High 3-game set, 565. In the box, which asks the various bowlers how many years they've been bowling, Wink has down 31 years. He's only 37, so he started, needless to say, a young age.
Yeah, well, you have to wise up as you start getting older. When they ask you, you lie. You know, we lie about our age, so we got to start lying about how many years we've been bowling. It's a dead giveaway.
Well,
I tell you, Wink really, everything he has knocked off with the first ball, even the strike, he's only thrown the one strike in the third frame last game, and it's just they're exploding off the lanes. He's really so well in the pocket that he's not using the wall at all.
well, he picks up a mark in the second frame.
We finished qualifying. I was talking to Jim Riceberg, and he told me the last ball he threw, he had the 2-4-3-6, and he slid it for 10. Of course, not knowing at that time what it was going to mean because he bowled a middle shift, and it paid off. 20 through the first frame, strike in the second. That ball looked like a pea. Jimmy has a tremendous hand. He's got a big hand.
Oh. Took out the 7, but the 4 remains.
If Jimmy has a tough pin, this is it. He's another bowler, and he's been ranked in Baltimore the last 3 or 4 years. He was up to second for a couple years. But he stays in the same place to shoot them and has a tendency, the ball sort of drifts away from the number 4, which it didn't that time. So spare, strike, spare through 3 frames for Jim. Boy, he's been, you know, Wink is almost throwing the ball too well. He is just driving right through. There he has the reverse. He has the 3, 4, and 6. Before he had the 2, 4, 6.
Takes 2.
I love to watch
another
Wink
one.
bowl. If you watch that hand, when I talk about hitting the ball at the bottom of the swing, you watch Wink's. It looks like it's on a spring, and it snaps right up in front of his face. He's a 1/4 inch from shooting a big score. It's just the 138, watching him bowl ball for ball is just unbelievable. Can we get one more? 310.
So Wink Bartley in the 4th frame, looking to pick up a mark.
Not many things going his way just yet. You know, I'll wait till he knocks his pin down. 14 frames, he has yet to leave a pin on the lane.
47 after 4 for Bartley, and Jim Riceberg steps in. High single for Jim is 237. He's got another one, another mark. He's gone spare strike. Spare strike. He's got 60 in the 3rd and the strike in the 4th.
And the other 2 have been singles.
And just indicative of some of the big scores that have been put up on the board here at Fairlanes Middlesex. Previous couple of weeks we've been talking about the ADT. This is the Duckpin Pro Tour, Men's Tour, and in the coming weeks you'll see our top qualifier, Doug Shipley, who led all qualifiers through the Saturday competition through 10 games and averaged over 170 to do that.
Then turned around and sort of turned it on or up a notch, averaged 181 for 5 games in the semi-finals, or the quarter qualifying, I guess you'd call it. Jim Riceberg, just the opposite. He's, of course, Boldy's 2 frames going to sit down, but he had 1 double in the 10 games to shoot 15-11, which is 15-11's a lot with 1 doubleheader. There he used the wall.
Wink with a strike, his first of the match.
I tell you, it's tough when you're throwing the ball as well as Wink is, and it's not showing up on the score. It's very important not to really stray from your game, just to stick with it. And of course, in head-to-head matches, you really don't have too long to have things turn around for you. Especially when a bowler comes out of the gate, as Jimmy did, with spare strike, spare strike. First time he's been off the front pin. I think he wanted a double bad. He was on a strike and tried to make something happen. 65, and Jim with a 20-pin lead after 5 frames. Wink's going to have a hard time not losing a pin this frame.
$74 for Wink Bartley after 6. Winner here will move on to face Todd Turkot.
It was a little different. Sort
Yeah.
of fell a little funny. Ended up okay to 310. He had to 379 and 10 there for a while.
Got it. Jim Riceberg pretty much on target. Has had only one open frame, that being the last one, the 5th. Other than that, he's had 2 strikes, 3 spares. He's working on that spare in the 6th, here in the 7th frame, on lane number 5 at Fairlanes, Middlesex.
Four or 5, an 8 count, 29-pin lead in the 6th frame.
He'll throw the 3rd ball here and finish up. $113 for Jim Riceberg after 7 frames.
Two in a row he's been out to the left. 1, 3, 6, 7, and 9. Very makeable. And at this point, it's he needs it. 29 pins down. He's got 4 frames to go. Tell you, Wink's a type of bowler that's sometimes almost a little too accurate for his own good. He really, I've watched him do it time and time again, and among these 6 or 7 seconds, what cost him was not the bad ball. It was just being a little too good.
So Wink trailing 113.81.
He's out there
Ball in
again.
the same spot again.
Well, if you want, I think he's getting a little quicker. Getting to the line a little early. The ball's getting on the floor a little soon. It's starting to slide. He's not getting it up in front of him as well as he was. But, you know, like I was pointing out, when you feel like you're throwing the ball good and nothing's happening, you start trying to make it happen. And sometimes you can, and sometimes this type thing happens where you go off to the side 2 or 3 times in a row before you realize, hey, maybe I better go back and play the game I was playing and hope something happens.
9 for Wink in the 8th, and that gives him a total of 90. Here's Jim Riceberg. Pretty ball by Jim Riceberg.
Number 5. Jimmy's an example of a bowler that you just keep shooting objects, and when the game's over, you'll have your score.
He's got another one. So after leaving the 7th open, he comes back with a mark in the 8th, and we'll move on to the 9th frame.
A little tight. 3, 4, and 6. Pin up in the channel. You have to take a ball and clear it out.
40-pin lead for Jim Riceberg after 8 frames.
Wink throws 4 strikes, he can shoot 150, and that would put Jimmy on a mark. The first time Wink throws a ball and it's not a strike, he's in big trouble.
Well, let's see what happens. 9th frame, Wink Bartley.
He's in trouble. Best he can shoot's 140. If he makes this and throws a triple, Jimmy 139. I believe he can stay behind the line and get a couple pins. As Wink picks up a spare. Tell you, Wink bowled 19 frames so far, and there you see 90 in the 8th, 100 plus. The Jim's 139 through 9 frames. And how he bowled really doesn't reflect in the scores that he shot. Now, isn't it funny when you relax? It should tell you something.
So Wink will continue to bowl here in the 10th frame.
Here's another shot to watch him snap this ball up. Oh my! Well, I don't know what pin that is on the right side. I think it's a 6 and it moved back. It's certainly. I wouldn't have wanted 9 to win and have that happen, Mike. Tough game for Wink. 129. He won 1. He'll finish 12th. Jim Riceberg will be bowling frame 10, knowing that he has a win. There's the number 5 pin again.
And he'll just try to keep it going for the next match when he faces off against Todd Turcot.
All right,
got it going.
pairs, 2 strikes, 7 marks. If he puts 8 on this, 7 or 8, he'll have, you know, mid 150s, just your basic kind of average game for this caliber of bowler. You know, nothing spectacular happened, but he made everything he shot at. 157.
So Jim Riceberg wins it over Wink Bartley, and he'll move on now to face our next bowler, Todd Turcot. And we'll get to that match coming up for you on Duckpin Magic right after this.
The Duckpin Magic TV show is brought to you by the Duckpin Bowling Council. Any comments or questions regarding the show or the council may be directed to the following person in your area. In Connecticut, Swede Lavers, 203-375-6621. In Maryland, Harry Dowda, 301-788-6300. In Rhode Island, Frank Ferry Jr., 401-831-6940. And in Virginia, Bookie Jenkins at 804-233-8799. Make your own duckpin magic happen this season at Fairlanes. We have the times, the leagues, and the people to give you the best duckpin bowling experience possible. Fall-winter leagues are now forming at all Fairlanes bowling centers. Come in and reserve your spot for the most magical year ever. Get in on the fun, the excitement, and the action of duckpin bowling. There's no trick to it. Just visit any Fairlane center and pick the league that's best for you. You'll enjoy the experience. We guarantee it.
So you had a little accident, and your insurance company wasn't very nice about it. They canceled you. So you called another insurance company, and they weren't exactly friendly.
I'm the law around here.
Finally, you found one who would insure you, and you asked for an easy payment plan.
When you've had enough from other insurance companies, call Cats. We'll give you same-day coverage and let you pay as you drive.
Go from Kansas to Concord with Cats.
Let Blue Ridge Fuel Oil warm your smile with quality heating oil reasonably priced. Blue Ridge, on the road from sunup to sundown to meet the challenges of your important fuel oil needs. Blue Ridge with year-round discounts on quality heating oil plus day or evening delivery.
I'm Linda Cooper, president of Blue Ridge Fuel Corporation. Give us a call today and let your family friend put all of your heating worries to rest.
Call Blue Ridge Fuel Oil at 566-8200 today.
Duckpin Magic is being brought to you by Cats Insurance and Blue Ridge Fuel Oil.
Todd Turcot, Jim Riceberg, meeting for the right to advance here in the up-the-ladder finals of the DPBA Masters Tour stop. Todd Turcot is 10th seeded, qualified with a fine 16-24. Went 3-2 in head-to-head competition with 738 total pins. Second year on the tour, first time on the ladder, Joe.
If I'm not mistaken, it looks to me like he's got a sneaker on his right foot for pushing off. Sort of a lot of bowlers have a little problem with slipping He has a regular slide shoe on his left foot, and the right foot is I'm pretty sure it's a regular sneaker.
Yeah, it looks to me that way as well. Jim Riceberg will step in now. Jim, fresh off the 28-pin win over Wink Bartley in the last match.
Watch Jimmy throw thousands of balls in his bowling career, and when that happens, he's just a little quick, and sometimes it's hard to do anything about.
Got it.
Well, when it happens in the first frame, it's just like 9 and 1, right? It's a spare.
So once again, Riceberg comes out, gets a quick start at his opponent. You're bowling head-to-head like this, Joe, on a scratch basis. In the past, we've shown the ADT, and they count in a handicap. Here, everybody's even when they start. And it's a big factor, I would think, to get off with that mark in that first frame.
Well, it's a psychological part of the game. You know, you have Todd that threw the ball through the middle. You know, a good first ball, you try and get a little bit loose and get used to the lights and everything. And then you have Jimmy come up, and he sort of threw it weak on the right side of the head pin. Then he comes out with a spare, and you have 8, you know, and you can sit there and play that head game with yourself and get in trouble real early.
Riceberg with 24 after 2 frames. Well, he's got another one.
I tell you, when you have a 2-pin spare like he had, the 2-5, we love to see a pin fall. Now we know we only have to touch 1 pin. The 2-pinners, you hear the better bowler talk about how many they pick, and I tend to disagree with that. I think the better bowler's going to make just as many 2-pinners and more than anybody else, but it becomes a psychological thing.
Well, Todd breaks back with a spare in the second frame.
18 plus to 24. Todd, you know,
Yeah, he's got it.
Come off the right wall. You see the pin action here at Fairlanes, Middlesex.
All the way across the lane and finally took the 7 out. So he puts a spare strike together.
Big ball. That sort of calms you down a little bit. Gets the heart rate back where it belongs.
In fact, before this match started, the show started, Todd asked how much time he had because he wanted to run out and get a new bottle of alcohol. That's
right.
How he attacks the oil problem, keeping the ball clean with a little alcohol on the towel.
Jim broke a tough 9-10. You saw the 6 fall right between them. .33 to 38 plus, third frame. Need a little help. There's the ball. It went left. There, come back, but not quite enough help as he left the 4-5. I think they're trying to slap this off the wall. Throw it at the hole and hope you catch the number 4. Oh, well, just like that. Thank you, Jim.
Pretty shot by Jim Riceberg. Using everything that you can, converting the spare.
It's obvious that you have good pin action live sideboards. Use them. Why try to tilt it when you can get a little help? Pretty ball for Scott. Left the number 6. I think I just called Todd Scott, but we'll get it straight in a minute.
I could throw the ball like that. You can call me anything you want.
I might have been in trouble if he'd have missed it, though.
Picks up the spare. So after an open frame of the first, he has put together 3 marks in a row. Spare, strike, spare.
He's bowled very well in 4 frames. The first frame he pushed it through the middle, and as you said, spare, strike, spare from there to here. Takes a deep breath.
Todd's going to be one of the youngest bowlers on the Pro Tour at only 19 years of age.
Nobody's only 19, are they, Mike?
That's what he put down in his sheet here.
67.
Bowling very well this weekend, that's for sure.
1624 qualifying. That's a big score. 162 average for 10 games.
Got just enough. So 4 marks in a row for Todd Turkot. Jim Riceberg will step in. The winner here advances to next week's program as they continue to work their way up the ladder. John Gorman awaiting the winner of this match.
Almost. Used the rubber, left the number 2.
Full 10 for Jim Riceberg, 55 after first 5 frames, and Todd Turkot with 77 plus.
Jimmy's got to make a little adjustment here. He's been through the middle 2 or 3 times here in the last 4 frames.
Well,
made
how about
it.
that? That's a pretty good adjustment. See at some point if we couldn't get a shot of Todd Turkot and his footwear.
Maybe sign a contract.
I want to know what he does with the left sneaker and the right bowling shoe. I mean,
2 companies, right? Be a rude awakening if he got them switched.
oh,
Nice try. Beautiful try. Just what you have to do. He just didn't catch the number 7. Took out the 4 or 5. Once again, he threw the ball where he wanted it, Mike. He's been, as far as the placement of the ball, he's been perfect
right
through
on it,
6
yeah.
frames. Yep. 94 to 65 plus.
th in the state of Connecticut last year with an average of 140, and this year averaging 152.
Got to be a confidence builder when you're on the climb and you know you're getting a little better. He's been on a tour 2 years, as you mentioned, and got beat around a little bit, I'm sure. One of the better youth bowlers in the game as he was coming up, and you're on top at that level, and now all of a sudden you throw yourself out into the best, and it's a big step, and all of a sudden you're saying, boy, maybe I'm not as good as I thought, and again the head takes over and you got to pay your dues for a little while.
He won the B division in the Nick Tronsky Open for 2 years in a row now. And here's Jim Riceberg, who's got an uphill climb.
That was a big ball, looking for a double. He was behind 30 pins. Can go to 19. He needs this to stay in the game.
Got just enough.
19 pins, 85 plus to 104 plus. You know when you're going good, when you're nice and solid at the line when you let go of the ball, and Jimmy's been that way. Through the middle again. 2, 3, 6, 10. You know, for the next X amount of games, you're going to see why it's nice to be top seed. Because you only have to win one, and we know from experience that it's difficult to win 2 and 3 games. So as tough as it may be to win from the top seed position, it's not a bad place to be.
Well, last week we saw Larry Ridgely win from the top spot.
In a very exciting match, 193 to 170, no, 96, 196 to 176. Terrific bowling.
And here's Todd Turcott. Speaking of terrific bowling, he's been doing pretty well himself.
Yes, he has. Throwing the ball well. Anytime you average 160 plus for 10 games and then turn around, and of course he had it not quite as well going today. He was a little under 150 for the 5 games, but he won 3 of them. Finished 3rd in his division. It put him in
he's got a double.
nice smooth delivery. It's just sort of smoothing things out here. He's bowled well. Ball for ball, he is getting the score he deserves. Wow.
Just hasn't been Jim's match here.
Sometimes the handwriting's on the wall. Just one opponent's not bad, but when the opponent down the other end doesn't want to cooperate and he's trying to beat you too, it's...
There's 10 of him down there.
That's right. You go through the motions and get the game over with, chalk it up as a good tournament, and get ready for the next one.
So Jim Riceberg in the 10th frame.
I'm not going to say a thing, Mike. Go ahead. How many times? Huh?
I've seen that a few times. Fellow believes he's out of it, or believes he's got it won, steps up and delivers it exactly where it's supposed to be.
Generally, pins fly from everywhere. And I think the pins know, and they just want to make sure you come back. You know what I mean?
Jim Riceberg finishes up with a 129. Which is exactly the score that Wink Bartley lost with the last match.
You're not going to win in this too many times with 129.
Well, I don't know if he had 149 whether he would have been able to win.
Need one more strike. Strike and 6. And we'll have a 200 TV game.
Well, Jim Van Fossen's keeping score for us, and he doesn't get it here. It's because Joe jinxed him like in a no-hitter in a baseball game. Come on, one more. Yeah! Okay.
Well, we'll clean that up and put it on the sheet, as they say. That was he threw that a little wide. I tell you, Mike, that's a tough frame. There you see, it's not over yet. I mean, he's 194 plus his ball. But that's a tough frame to bowl when you have a game won. You really, you don't feel like you want to bury the other guy. It's over, and you want to get up and bowl your frame and start the next game, and we didn't make it.
Nah. Well, Tad Turkot put on quite a show, finishes up with a 199-129 win. Impressive performance by Tad Turkot, but we're still in search of that elusive 200 game on TV. And we'll wrap things up here from Fairlane's Middlesex coming up right after this.
Let Blue Ridge Fuel Oil warm your smile with quality heating oil reasonably priced. Blue Ridge, on the road from sunup to sundown to meet the challenges of your important fuel oil needs. Blue Ridge with year-round discounts on quality heating oil plus day or evening delivery.
I'm Linda Cooper, president of Blue Ridge Fuel Corporation. Give us a call today and let your family friend put all of your heating worries to rest.
Call Blue Ridge Fuel Oil at 566-8200 today. Make your own duckpin magic happen this season at Fairlanes. We have the times, the leagues, and the people to give you the best duckpin bowling experience possible. Fall-winter leagues are now forming at all Fairlanes bowling centers. Come in and reserve your spot for the most magical year ever. Get in on the fun, the excitement, and the action of duckpin bowling. There's no trick to it. Just visit any Fairlane center and pick the league that's best for you. You'll enjoy the experience. We guarantee it.
It happens. No matter how careful you are, you get one too many tickets. You're involved in a minor mishap. Or you're just a victim of circumstances. And just when you thought things couldn't get worse, your insurance company cancels you. And you're left high and dry.
That's when you call CATS. We'll give you same-day coverage and a payment plan you can handle. Call CATS.
Go from Kansas to comfort with Cats.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Duckpin Magic here at Fairlanes Middlesex in Baltimore, Maryland. We've got 3 more big weeks to go for this up-the-ladder climb to crown a Masters champion on the Duckpin Men's Pro Tour, and we'll get to that coming up next week on Duckpin Magic. For Joe Rainier, I'm Mike Sella. See you again next week, everybody.
Duckpin Magic has been brought to you by Cats Insurance and Blue Ridge Fuel Oil.